Okay, so what you want to do if you're doing an at-home haircut on somebody that's family is you're going to grab your clippers, and you're always going to start with a larger number than the smaller number. So what I'm starting with is a number 2, because this is where he wants his hair to end up. He wants a 0 fade to a number 2. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to remove hair up to the curve in the head or the occipital bone, which is very easy. And you should be able to do it just by watching this video. So first I do the back, and we are practicing, you know, sanitation, keeping our masks on. And it is possible to do a cut with a mask on. You may have to remove the straps just a little bit, just so that they don't get cut, but this is quite easy. And my son is lucky that he does live at home and he can get a haircut here.
Perfect.
So now that we have the basics done, I'm going to switch out blades, and I'm going to go down to a 0, and I'm going to turn them back. And this can be done in a regular chair. I'm just lucky that I have a salon chair. So now with the 000 blade, I'm just going to go up about a ½ inch, keeping the blade at an angle as I go up. Just a little bit here on the sides. Too much and you're going to mess up the hair. You're going to give them a bald spot. And we don't want to give them a bald spot. See how nice and clean that line is? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm only taking the 0 up to the temple area. Wiping away any excess hair. And now I'm going to go back in with a 1.5. Head down. And I'm just blending this harsh line out. I do need another blade though. Doing the same thing on the other side. Now to get rid of this harsh line, I'm just gonna grab that 000 again, and I'm gonna use my comb. I'm just gonna hold my comb, and I'm just going to softly go over it, removing any excess hair. And you can see it softening up already. It's a little tricky right here. Let me stop that for a minute. So I want to get that line a little bit more soft, so I'm going to go in with a 1A, and I'm just going to hit just the bottom area. And it softens up that line. He has blonde hair, so when you're dealing with blonde hair or with really dark hair, it's kind of hard to blend out those lines. And I'm just going in at a diagonal. But as you can see, this line is diffused now. And I'm not too worried about this hair right here because we are going to go back and trim that. Following the design line on the other side. And we have this all blended out. Now just to clean up around the neck, I am going to go in with my edgers. I'm just going to go around here, going down, getting any excess hair off of his neck. Being careful not to go up too much into that fade. And I'm just going to go up a little bit right here because Christian just likes to have it nice and tight and clean right here.
That's right.
And we're going to do the other side. And I'm just using the back side of my trimmer. We have the perimeter cut done. It's nice and clean. So now I'm going to go back in with my scissors.
The scissors.
Because he likes this a little bit tighter than it is right here, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to hold my fingers against his head, and I'm going to take my shears and go up, not past the knuckle because we don't want to cut our knuckle. And I'm just going to follow the perimeter of his head going around, removing all excess hair. You can see already how it's blending. Pull up all the excess hair on the bottom. Pay attention that you cut any excess long pieces, but also make sure that you watch for any colics, any hair that's going to stick up. And I'm just over directing his hair just so that he gets that nice, even little taper. Can pull this forward over here and just slightly trim. So when you comb back the hair, see how nice that lays? And we're going to do the same on the other side. And this cut can be really easy for a stay-at-home mom to do, for her children, do it for her husband. All it takes is a pair of shears, clippers, and an edger, and you can get those items over at Sally's, really inexpensive.
Can you pick them up at like Walgreens and stuff like that too, or?
Walgreens does carry.
Okay.
You can order online, curbside. You can get it at Walgreens, Walmart, and you don't need to get an expensive pair of scissors or clippers. Just something that's going to get you through the quarantine, because nobody wants to walk around with shaggy quarantine hair.
This is true.
And I'm just over directing the hair over here. So now, when you see that you have this little extra line right here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 1.5 guard, gonna put that back on your clippers, and you're just gonna hold your comb at an angle and go over, and it diffuses that line. So you're gonna get that nice tight barber cut. But for a fraction of the cost. How nice this cut lays. See that? We're gonna do the same on the other side. Just angle the comb. And don't be afraid to go in. If you cut it a little short, it will grow back. But this cut right here will get you through, get your husband, get your children through the quarantine. And I'm just going up through and holding the comb straight out horizontally, just with the clippers, just so that I get that nice lay down. And it helps ensure that any hairs that were a little bit longer, I don't miss. I'm not angling my comb at all at this point. I'm just going straight over with a vertical clipper over comb. And he's got that nice fade that he wanted. So now I'm just spraying down Christian's hair just a little bit, because we're gonna go in and trim just a smidge on his hair, because he likes to keep it a little bit longer so that he has sort of a pompadour effect, but it blends nicely. So I'm just gonna take from the front and I'm gonna over direct backwards, and those extra pieces of hair right here, I'm just gonna go straight across with my shears and trim those. I'm gonna pull back a little bit longer, and I can still see those hairs. And I'm just gonna continue until we get to the back. You're just cutting off a little bit. You don't need to cut off a lot. Like I said, this is just an easy fix so that your husband, your son, they don't get anxious and do something stupid like pulling out clippers and cutting their own hair. So I'm gonna comb this back forward, and then I'm gonna comb it off to the side, and I'm gonna follow that same design line. So you can see it's longer here, or shorter here, and longer over here. So I'm just gonna grab this piece and I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna follow again, do the same thing till we get to the back. And then I'm just gonna pull it, over direct it, pull it backwards, just to cut those extra long pieces off. Comb this back forward, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And you can see I'm getting all those long hairs. Now when I just going back through to check it, you can see everything is pretty equal. If there's some places that are a little bit longer, just go back in and cut. Make sure that you're holding your fingers nice and taut, and it makes for an easy, nice, even cut.
Perfect. Those get on the scalp too.
Mm-hmm. Now we have Christian's haircut all done. He likes it up a little bit, spiky right here. Could be a little bit shorter, so I'm just gonna take off about a ½ inch, and I'm gonna comb this forward. And you can see that long point right there. So I'm gonna remove that point. So now it's nice and even everywhere. And we're just gonna take our fingers, smooth it, and we have beautiful fade.